Are you wanting to make an American flag quilt? Well, let's go make this quilt block. But always remember to share this so it will save to your profile and you can find it when you're looking for it again later. I started with 2 pieces of red that's 1 1/4 wide and 6 inches long, and 2 pieces of white, same, 1 1/4 wide and 6 inches long. I have 2 pieces of red that's 1 1/4 inches wide and 10 inches long, and 2 pieces of white, 1 1/4 inches wide and 10 inches long. The first thing I'm going to do is sew the top of my flag. I'm going to take 1 red piece, lay it pretty side to pretty side, and I'm going to sew right there, 1/4 inch seam. Then after these 2 are sewn together, then I'm going to lay them over onto the next one and sew that with a 1/4 inch seam. And then I'm going to lay this, all 3 of these will be sewn together, face down, pretty side to pretty side, and sew this 1/4 inch seam. Now I'm going to get the 1/4 inch seam by following the edge of my fabric with the edge of my presser foot. Lots and lots and lots of presser feet are 1/4 inch, but not all of them are. So you may want to measure yours to make sure. Pretty side to pretty side, and we're going to back stitch when we start and when we stop, because my grandma said so. Thank you, Missouri Star Quilt Company, for sending us these fabrics. This is called Sweet Liberty. The next thing I'm going to do is take my bottom pieces, and I'm going to sew those the same way. Pretty side to pretty side. I'm going to lay the red piece over onto the white piece, and I'm going to sew down this edge. I'm going to open it up, and then I'm going to continue sewing a 1/4 inch seam until I have these 4 sewn together. My student is sewing 60 of these total for her quilt, and I'm so dang excited to show y'all what she's making. Now let's iron our pieces. We've talked about this situation before. This is my wool mat with a heat resistant pad underneath it. I'm not confident that my heat is not going to go through the mat and burn my table. So I've got this heat resistant pad underneath it just to be sure. I'm just ironing mine to one side. This iron is a Chi iron. I've had a bunch of different irons. Some of the more expensive ones, I'm not saying they're not good irons. I'm saying that this is my favorite. This is so much my favorite. I have 2 in here and 2 at home. And I have the small one, but I don't love a small iron. I know some of y'all do. And if you love a small iron, I want you to use a small iron. I just don't love it. I guess maybe I want the weight of the iron, but regardless, I use a full-size iron, always. This iron, this wool mat, and the heat resistant pad are all in my Walmart storefront that are linked at the top of the page if you are looking for these exact ones. We've ironed our pieces. This piece, all of my blue pieces, are 4 inches long and 3 inches wide. So 3 inches by 4 inches. I'm going to lay this on top of this so that my pretty sides are together, and I'm going to stitch right here, just like this. Back stitch when I start and when I stop, because my grandma said so. Now I'm going to iron this open. Do not yell at me about the way I iron. You iron any way you want to, okay? Now I'm going to take this part of my flag and this part of my flag. I'm going to put them pretty side to pretty side, and I'm going to sew down this seam. My student is going to put 6 across and 12 down for her quilt, and then add a border, and it's going to be gorgeous. Now we're going to open it up and iron it. Look how cute. So the next thing we're going to do is add our border. I have 2 white pieces of fabric. This one is 2 inches by 6 1/4 inches long. This one is 2 inches by 10 inches long. And then I have a square, and this square is 2 inches by 2 inches. The first thing I'm going to do is sew my white piece of fabric to the top of my flag. Pretty side to pretty side. I'm going to sew right here, back stitching when I start and when I stop. This is a pretty easy block to do because it's all straight seams, but the pieces are kind of small. Next thing I'm going to do is take my 2 inch by 2 inch piece and my 2 inch by 6 1/4 inch piece. I'm going to lay those pretty side to pretty side just like this, and I'm going to sew this seam right here, back stitching when I start and when I stop. Now I'm going to iron both of these open. So we've sewn them, we've ironed them. Now we're ready to take this and turn it this way, just like this. We're going to lay it on top of this part of our block, and we're going to sew down this side. Matching up, this corner seam is what we care about. Back stitching when we start and when we stop. And look what you just made. I can't wait to see all of the American flag quilts y'all make. My name is Tammy. I'm your favorite sewing teacher, and I would love for you to come sew with me.